My name's Leah Bennett. I'm the Managing Director of First Nations Foundation, and this is Rich Blak Women in Business. Today, we'll be speaking to some strong Black women who own their own businesses and hold executive positions within organisations. Today is a great opportunity to highlight some incredible women in business. First Nations businesses contribute over $16 billion to the Australian economy, and it's a great opportunity to hear from these women how they've gotten to where they've gotten to, and hope that their stories will inspire you. Hi, my name's Leah Bennett. I'm a proud Wiradjuri woman and the Managing Director of First Nations Foundation, and today I'm here with Arimaya Yates from Engineering Aid Australia. Can you share a bit about who you are, who's your mob, where are you from?
So I'm a proud Tanarong woman from the Nirrabullet clan, northeast Victoria. So the biggest water holders, or custodians I should say, of so-called Victoria. So subalpine region, freshwater river woman.
You've just moved. Where
Yeah,
are you
I have
living?
just moved. So I was living here in Naarm, and it all just got a little bit too much for me. So I've just moved down to Wadawurrung country, down past Geelong and the Bellarine Peninsula.
It's beautiful and quiet down there.
Oh yeah. Big wide roads, always a car park. I love it.
Amazing. And you've had like a really interesting career. Can you tell us a bit about that? Where did you start? Where are you now? What are you doing?
I think we were talking about this last night. I've had such an incredibly diverse career, so many different industries, but I actually started as a midwife.
Yeah.
I did home birth till 2008, and then the laws changed, went to hospital, witnessed a lot of violence towards our women in the system. So I wrote my first PhD on those systemic barriers, and then became a doctor of social anthropology and psychology. And instead of working in academia, I took off and ran not-for-profits in developing countries, supporting, well, there was one in the Heartless Mountains of Morocco. So we looked after providing what I thought was going to be providing maternal care to the Tamazight women, so the Berber women, which their culture was really similar to ours, which is why I stayed for so long. But it ended up being more about providing safety for the girls and the women, a lot more about women's advocacy and bringing a global awareness to what's going on to the girls there. Yeah. And then after that, I came back, had my daughter.
Hang on, isn't there a camel story?
Yeah, that's way back though. That's like when I was 20.
Well, what were you doing with the camels?
Oh, I had, the 20-year-old moment of going, I don't want to be part of this society. I think John Howard was the Prime Minister at the time. I didn't want to be part of that. I just didn't want to be part of it. It was a typical 20-year-old thing. And so I gave my combi van away, burnt my birth certificate and licence, and just decided to take off to the desert. And I ended up in Coober Pedy. Random story, met this guy who looked interesting. Turned out he ran camel treks. And so I turned up at his door every day until he gave me a job. And instead of giving me a job, we went out bush, like maybe 350 k's northeast from Oodnadatta on motorbikes, rounded up wild camels. And he said, off you go for 6 weeks, train these camels and I'll give you a job. I didn't come back. I kept going for 6 months. So, And this was pre-mobile phones, satellite phones. It was completely insane, and I wouldn't recommend anybody do it.
But it was a good experience for the plot.
It was an amazing, amazing experience. It totally changed my life,
Yeah. And now you're doing...
Oh, now I'm CEO of Engineering Aid Australia.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We're a 30-year established national not-for-profit. We create pathways for mob into STEM and engineering careers. So we just give them the opportunity. And it's a whole life cycle program, so it's not a fly in, fly out. Like they get wrapped around for the rest of their lives in services and funding, whatever their career choices are. They're part of our alumni.
Yeah.
And we run a program in Boorloo and Sydney, Gadigal.
Gadigal?
Yeah.
Eora?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Tandanya.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. You're also a mum and you've got community commitments and all that sort of stuff. How do you balance wearing all of those hats with family and work and community, and what helps you stay grounded?
I've been a single mum since I was 22. twice over. So one's 25 and now my youngest is 11. So people often look at me and go, you're so resilient, you're so strong that you've been able to do this. I would never for a second glorify single parenting and having a high powered executive career at all. Like, it's not easy by any means. How do I balance it? I spend a lot of
Just a
time on
woman.
country.
You're just a woman and you just do it.
Yeah, I really try to focus on eating good food, having a healthy routine most of the time, making sure I spend a lot of time on country, and being a water person, I need to be around water.
Yeah.
But usually about once a month I head up on country and just sit still.
Yeah.
And so I go up there and I've got a spot that's on private property so no one can come in there. It's friends of a friend's parents or something. But it's on the Rubicon River and it's like my favourite place.
Yeah.
And everything speaks to me there. And I just need to sit there for a couple of days and be totally still and switched off.
And do you think it helps you remember what you're fighting for? Like when you go back on country and then you go back into society and into your job and all that sort of stuff, do you think it's just a reminder of why you push so hard to do what you do and to support our people? Yeah.
100%. We're born into advocacy in my family. All the women have been matriarchal and really strong women that have taken a lot of personal sacrifice. But yeah, when I go up on country, I'm reminded that, and through my own children, I'm reminded what it's all about. That, you know, we're creating those pathways so it's a little bit easier in each gen. And I see that in my family lineage with my grandma, my mum and me. You can see both the intergenerational trauma, but also the intergenerational benefits that you're able to create. So, you know, with each of those generations, there's been different hardships. And when you look at your grandma that's, you know, my grandma's stolen gen, and when I sit with her and we're really tight, we're really close, my nan and I. When I hear her story and I see what she's had to go through for me to benefit, it's not even a thought that I have to work hard for the next gen and the gen after and the gen after that, especially for our people because we were taken so far away from our lands and it was so far. It was just stolen. All the terrible things happened of the colony. Yeah. And the reclamation of that, I've been privy to be part of that through helping set up the treaty and the York Justice Commission down here and working for my mob. Yeah.
What does it mean to you personally and culturally to be a First Nations woman in a CEO position?
I'm so proud.
Yeah.
I have never been proud of anything in my life. And I should have been. Like, I've done some really, like, legacy pieces that, you know, I can look back on at the end of my life and feel I did good for our mob. But there's something about being in this role now that's given me finally the sense of pride.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like to lead a national organisation with an incredible reputation that's doing what I love doing, advocating and creating pathways for our mob, is the most fulfilling thing I could have ever imagined. This was my dream job.
I remember when we first met, it was the first time we were at the Murrow program and you'd come up to me and said, oh, sis, I've been asked to apply for this CEO role, and we'd had a yarn about it. And I said, there's no doubt that you can do this role. It's about whether or not you want to work for that organisation, right? Like it wasn't a question of your capability, but whether or not, you know, that was what you wanted to do with your life, and now you're the CEO, and that's so phenomenal. I'm so proud of you.
And I'm getting goosebumps. It's the best. I love everything about it. And the same week I got the role, I bought my first home. So, you know, as a 48-year-old single mum with, you know, I didn't come away with a divorce payout or any of that stuff. Like, I've worked for that. That's my money. Yeah. You know, I created that wealth. And to have those two successes in the same week was, it took me probably a good month to go, okay, that's all actually happening. But yeah, for the first time in my life, I'm genuinely proud of what I've created for myself and my family and my community, because I'm the first in my family to do this.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so proud of you. You got 2 babies.
Yeah.
What kind of legacy do you hope to leave for them? And how do you see your journey shaping theirs?
Well, my firstborn, I already see the legacy because he's just the most beautiful man I could have ever have wanted. No, he's just a beautiful, kind, hearted, knows who he is, he's solid in himself, he treats people with respect. His favourite place is to be on country.
Yeah.
He just loves being out in nature and he's so peaceful there. And he lives up there.
Yeah.
So for my daughter, it's like 20-year gap. So, no, not 20-year gap, it's 13-year gap.
Yeah.
So it's a different time of my life. So for her, I want her to see that no matter what hardships you go through, you can create a new pathway, and that she'll have some financial legacy left behind for her that I didn't have, and that's going to create a whole other world of opportunity for her.
You've just started creating intergenerational wealth.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, I got goosebumps again. Yeah.
So good.
So I want her to have more freedom than what I had. I want things to be easier for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. What advice would you give other First Nations women dreaming of starting their own business or becoming an executive or joining a board, a CEO, or
That you belong there.
Yeah.
And I know the feeling of you don't belong there, and I know the imposter syndrome that comes even when you get there.
Yeah.
But you do belong there, and you need to speak your truth in those spaces, because we can't. I mean, it's not going to help to be trying to be a white fellow in that space.
Yeah.
Our voice is wanted. It's valued now. It's a different climate. People appreciate and they listen now to what we have to say because they know it's powerful and meaningful and it's worthy.
Yeah. I like what you said about imposter syndrome, because I don't think that we realise how many people feel that way. Like I always say, like almost every day I feel a bit like a fraudster. Like, am I supposed to be in the room? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
But I think it's about just showing up regardless of how you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully that then creates pathways for other First Nations women to go, well, if they're in the room, then I should be in there.
Yeah, and being real about it, like it's difficult, and it can be a lonely thing being a leader because you've got to take on all that responsibility. So you've got to have your people that you can talk to outside of the workplace, your other titter girls that can hold you up.
Yeah.
Because it is tough, but the imposter syndrome, I still have that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even put doctor in front of my name.
Yeah.
And that was, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, but I have this thing I tell myself, like, fake it till you make it. Just show up.
Yeah.
Like today, just show up. You'll be fine. You've got what you need inside. You don't need to rehearse. You don't need to practice. You don't need to write notes. You've got it in your spirit. It's just going to come.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Thank you. When life gets tough, what are your go-to ways to care for yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually?
Well, it takes a lot for me to actually hit the breaking point of needing it, because I've got such a abnormally large amount of tolerance to things.
A high threshold for pain.
Yeah, which my therapist is telling me I need to rein it in, though. She's like, your tolerance is too high. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, are we taught that?
When you notice yourself starting to burn out in those ways, how do you recognise that? And, what are the first things that you go to?
My body will tell me pretty quickly that I'm getting stressed. Like, I've got a good relationship with my body, and I'll notice my sleep changes, appetite changes, all those, subtle things, but I pay attention. And when I hear that, I just stop working.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not working today. Like, I've got to take care of my spirit today. And usually that means, like, no devices, no timelines. Like, I'll let my daughter have a day off school so we're not stressing about driving on the roads, and we just go quiet day, rest up. Check in the afternoon if I need to go country. But now I'm a bit further away. I think I'll just go down to the ocean. I just need to be near the water.
I'm very much like that. I feel like once I submerge myself under the water, you realise how tiny you are and how big that ocean is, and it kind of grounds you instantly.
Yeah.
But I think that, because I live pretty far from country, so I don't get to get out there as much as what I would like. But I think even just doing something like sitting on the grass weaving, just the practice of doing that and just focusing on something that isn't the stress, that seems to work quite well.
Yeah, and it's like, I do that too. Like, even just being barefoot on the school oval or something when I'm taking tea to school, just that. So if that's all I can do, it's just some way of connecting to nature and remembering that connection to everything, to country, no matter where you are in country. connecting to country and feeling that in the body and just slowing the mind down and then letting it expand back to my country. So
Yeah.
I've got a few sort of practices I do, taking me back to my spot on the Rubicon.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be, it doesn't have to be like even going on the oval and sitting, but it could be driving and I'm at the lights and I just take myself there and I'm back.
Do you have any like strong sisters that you can call when you really need to kind of get things out of your system, that, or, you know, some aunties and people that you know that are just going to give you the right wisdom?
Yeah, and that's part of why I moved down to Wadawurrung country, because my mum were down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the aunties for my daughter and my cousins, and one of my favourite titters is down there. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
So good to have that support around you, especially with strong women.
Yeah, it's too easy to get isolated.
Looking back, how have you invested in your own growth professionally and personally, and what's made the biggest difference?
Well, I've always had a commitment to, I've got a growth mindset, so I've always had a commitment to both education and a ton of therapy.
Yeah, which
Every
is
different
important.
type of therapy. I need that. I need someone that will take me and challenge my mind, because it's so fast and overactive and it thinks so much. And where I used to put that into just constant learning, I realised it was a bit of an escape. And I was avoiding just sitting in my feelings and getting into my spirit. So therapy came in, and they're my two still ongoing commitments. Less so the learning now, kind of starting a hidden age where I'm understanding that maybe I've learned enough.
Really? Because we just
academia.
graduated university yesterday.
I know.
Really?
Actually, no, I signed up to do more.
Oh my gosh,
damn
yeah,
it.
thought as much. Yeah, you never stop learning.
You don't, but you know, formal academic education.
Yeah.
I'll constantly learn. So my commitment to growth, I think, in general, both internally with myself, with my spirit, with my culture,
Yeah.
and with my brain.
Yeah. Awesome. One of the things that you had said to me a few months back was that you had done First Nations Foundation's financial literacy and how that's changed your life.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that a little bit about how it's kind of taken you from where you were to where you are today, and what are maybe some of the key learnings from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was never raised with money. Like, there was no money in my family. So we didn't have any education around having a relationship with money. And when I did the training, it was the very beginning of my journey of my relationship with money. And it wasn't so much about dollars or budgets for me, it was about my relationship to it.
Yeah.
And how instead of it being in control of me, I was in control of it. And this is my relationship to nurture, to grow through learning about finance, becoming literate in finance, how to make better decisions around finance. And I've still got a way to go. But it was a breaking, no, not a breaking moment, a pivot moment in my life of what set me on the trajectory of where I am today in two ways. One, because it taught me about my relationship with money, and two, because it taught me about the value I have on myself.
Yeah.
And then I got to start to see myself in places I'd never imagined. And that's where I got to be where I am today. It was like, that was the birth of it for me. It was so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And I had no idea I was going to get that out of it. I thought I was coming to do a little journal thing and do a podcast. And, you know, it was so much bigger than that. Because while it does give you these skills, practical skills that really matter, for me it was a deeper thing about like I said, my relationship with money and seeing myself in control of it instead of it controlling me.
Yeah.
And then it took a long time, but I worked my way out of a lot of debt and developed a healthy relationship with money. And now I make better decisions.
Yeah.
Because of that, because you know the consequences of where you've been and where you want to go.
Yeah.
And I've always got that vision of where I'm going to stay now, which is a healthy place.
Yeah.
But the literacy training really, that was the moment.
Yeah. I think people underestimate how much of your mental health plays into how you spend money. And it's not just about a lack of financial literacy throughout your life. Again, like mob not having money as a result of, being brought up in slavery, being excluded from the economy, all those sorts of stuff. But it's the mindset that's given to you that you just inherit from your parents. And I think, growing up with a deficit mindset, like money isn't enough. But also understanding that sometimes spending money can trigger, like a dopamine hit from you. And if you're not in a good place mentally, being able to recognize those triggers is so essential to be able to say, no, I need to go do something else rather than spend money. But I think one of the most important things that I love about our program is it teaches about healthy boundaries. So community obviously plays a huge part in our sharing economy, and so our community commitments as well, right? So if Uncle Arnie comes up and says, I need money, being able to budget in your kinship obligations is so important. It's not saying, no, we're not going to do that, but how do you budget those in, and how do you set boundaries so that you feel okay with yourself emotionally to say no? Because I think that's one of the biggest issues is, feeling uncomfortable or feeling like you're doing the wrong thing by saying no. But I love that you've touched on that, and it's so incredible to see that you have gone through the program. And financial literacy is an ongoing journey, right? Like it's one of those things you continue to teach yourself.
There's so many things I want to respond to in that, because like from the program, I have a fund that I put $40 a week into for my mob. And so when someone does come, I can disperse that to them. Or if they don't come, then I put it towards mob in other ways. But I remember that thing of overspending for mob. Like I still feel the urge to do it. Because it's in me. I'm so generous and I just want to give and give and give. But like I remember once giving to the point where I couldn't buy my own daughter a birthday cake because I'd given to family. And I was like, no. You got to work on that. And it is a constant pull. But having that fund, like you mentioned, I call it my Wiley fund. So it looks like it's for the dog, but it's not. I say, oh no, that sounds real bad. I just worked that out. $40 a week goes in there. And that's awesome,
That's so good. And do you feel that through becoming more financially literate, it's played a huge part in your ability to become a CEO? Right?
Absolutely, 100%. There's I wouldn't have been able to see myself here if I wasn't financially literate, because I would still be in poverty consciousness, which that's what I was speaking to earlier about the relationship to money and the belief of belonging in a space. They're interwoven for me. So I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that financial literacy. Because I wouldn't have believed I could be successful.
But even in being a CEO and needing to read financial reports and report to the board and all that sort of stuff is such a key part of that. And even if you're not a CEO and you're a business owner, your ability to understand your books and where your money's going and all that sort of stuff is so essential.
And it's for a lot of mob, it's hard. Like a lot of mob I know, our brains are different. Like they don't work that way with numbers. And I still struggle, but I know where to go for support. And I'll outsource and get like some leadership around it. And I have no shame in saying that's not my strength. Numbers is not my strength because I wasn't raised with it. I didn't do great at maths through school, but I know where to go to get the help so that I can take ownership of that. And to be a CEO, you're essentially responsible for
the finances.
So you kind of got to know. But it's really, once you get there and someone steps it out in the right way for you, it's not that hard. It's not it takes the emotion of fear out of it.
My last question for you is essentially if you have advice for women that are looking to go down the route of wanting to improve their finances, what would be some steps that you would recommend that they take?
Do the financial literacy training. It's like the step one. No, absolutely.
I'm not paying her.
No, but it like literally changed my life, and it's only by chance. And it was years ago. So and we've only met this year. So Start there, because it's such an incredible, culturally safe way that's inclusive of those obligations that we have, whereas so many white fella financial trainings just, it doesn't even exist in the realm of their thinking, like that we have those obligations financially and the emotion that goes with it. Do the course, do the training, lean into the fear. I know it's scary, I get it. I still sit in it. It's okay though, because it's not actually real. Like, we just got to lean in, get some good solid support around, like your titters or your therapist. And, you know, if you're still struggling, get an accountant.
Yeah.
I've got an accountant. She does pro bono, so it's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words for our sisters?
I've come from so much poverty and hardship and living in commission flats, and every shade of sort of violence has happened. And I've made it here because there's something about our spirit that you belong in these spaces. And I know the fear, and regardless of like all the hardships that we've been through, the intergenerational trauma, the family violence, like, you do belong there. And, you know, I haven't had that handed to me at all, and I have had to work really, really hard to create it. And it's hard. It has been harder for me than some other people I know, but it's all relative, right?
Yeah.
And you belong. You can do it. You've just got to be around the right people to hold you up, and keep visualizing yourself in those places. It will happen, but it's a change of relationship, which means you got to work on stuff. You know, and you got to go into your spirit.
Thank you. Well done.
Oh my God. Come on.
Get it, Pippa. Thank you.
Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys wanna